Welcome to GLHF, everybody.
Oh, I didn't know we were getting into it. Look at that.
This is
I'm
what
so
we look like
surprised.
today. I'm shocked. I actually can't focus on thinking of anything to say for the pod because of how this looks right now.
What's wrong with how... This is my apartment, if you guys didn't know. This is where I live.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I invited you over because I said, I can't visit you anywhere else. Will you please come to my apartment? I have a sink. I have a what do they call that? A bedpan and a bed, in fact. And you can pet my cat. Or I'm sorry, it's a dog.
Oh, yes.
Your
little chihuahua.
Yeah, pet it. Go ahead. Give my dog a pet. His name is Slinker.
Slinker.
Give him a little pet.
I'm petting him right now, midair.
Okay, I know you can't tell this, Mem, but you got to be really careful with what you're doing with your hand right now, considering the political state of the world. Okay, you should probably put that dog down right now, because you're not gonna be able to see what it looked like. But
yeah,
and I'm not even gonna recreate it. But I'm just giving you. That's your first and final warning.
Yeah,
okay?
That's probably a good idea.
Be careful.
For the listeners, every time you pick something up in this game, your arm is very straight.
It's pretty straight.
Yeah.
And it possibly, and this was your choice, this wasn't the game, but you chose, it possibly was going up a little bit at approximately a 30-degree angle.
I wouldn't say exactly that.
Yeah. Well, is there an official angle for that? Like, did they ever, you'd think so. They were quite oriented towards like efficiency, right? You'd think they would have an official angle. If you want to get off this topic, you just tell me to shut up.
Yeah, maybe we should talk about the fact that I just got 2 kittens. That's my life news.
In real life, I saw those kittens.
Yeah.
They're named after the people from the game.
Yeah, they're named after Genshin Impact characters because we're big dorks. They're named after anime characters.
But they're also like good names. You didn't pick ones that are like, you didn't name them like Hani no Zuka Mi Suku or whatever, like they're just names that
like
work.
Something Kun.
Exactly. Yeah, you didn't do anything like that. Yeah, you didn't name them after a super obvious one, so it wasn't like Goku and Piccolo, which is fine also, honestly, but
yeah, so I
thought they were tasteful. They were tasteful
twins,
is the point.
The main characters from Genshin are Aether and Lumine. And it's like a boy and a girl twin in the game, but the kittens are both girls because we don't give a fuck. Okay?
You said one of those names is Aether?
Yeah.
Okay, that's slightly less not tasteful in a bad way, but it's slightly more anime than I feel like I registered when I read it. But that's all right.
Okay.
That's what Elon Musk named his kid, right?
I can sense your respect for me lowering in real time. Anyway, they're very cute. They're very scared because they were strays that I think were like trapped and taken to a foster home. So they haven't like lived around people very much. And Aether has warmed up like a lot. She's like has her own room because we're still keeping them in separate rooms. But she's like all over the place, having fun, not scared of us anymore. And then Lumine, I'm looking at her right now. She's in a little like kennel in our game room. And she still doesn't want to come out of there. But we left it open overnight last night to see if she would come out when we weren't in here. And there was evidence in the morning that she had been knocking some things over. So I think she did her own exploring solo. But she still doesn't want to come out when we're in here. But she's not like scared of us. Like we can pet her all we want just in the kennel. She won't come out of there.
Yeah, she just has to get used to her environment. Something like it's like people. You also got the perfect mix. You always want you need the straight man and then the goofball, in every good relationship, especially with cats. So you got it. It's perfect the way you got it.
Yes, I've already been saying Aether's going to be the one that's getting them into shit that they shouldn't be doing. Like it's always going to be her ideas.
Now, how many, in your opinion, is the correct number of litter boxes per cat?
You're supposed to have one per cat, supposedly. Like, by the books, supposedly. That's what you're supposed to do.
But nobody does that.
Yeah, we'll see.
So what do you do?
I feel like for a couple of kittens, as long as you're cleaning it every day, you might not need to. I mean, I think the reason that they say that is because potentially they're going to start pooping other places if they think it's gross that, like, the one gets too dirty.
Does that happen? Because I feel like I went way too long sometimes when I used to have cats. And they just kept stacking it up in that little box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't think they ever intentionally, every once in a while, I guess, if they were having a weird issue, they would maybe, but it wasn't like because of the litter box. So I don't know. I'm skeptical. You should do, on account of you've got 2 of them now, an experiment. How high can the mound get before they give up and just start going anywhere?
I think that would be neglect. I think that would be animal neglect is what you would call that.
But you're going to pay them like it's a study.
Okay, I'll give them each $50.
$50. That's enough for me. I would do that.
Did you ever do a study as a kid that you got $50 for?
I'll stop flushing for $50.
Because I did.
Yes, my mom used to take us to go do them because we were extremely poor. So she would take them and then I don't know if she would like split the money with us. She'd be like, I get half because I brought you here. Because we need to like buy like stuff like food or whatever. But we never thought of it that way. We were just like, oh, sick, $10. And it would always be stuff like, hey, we're going to tell you an idea for like the worst commercial you've ever seen. Can you tell us what you don't like about it? And you couldn't even think about how bad it was. Like you couldn't even elucidate it because they would be like, how did you feel when the old man tripped over the fence? And you're like, man, I didn't like it, but that's the least of this commercial's problem for the new
you
hot
had like
Cheeto
a list
flavor.
in your mind of problems.
It was never good. But
a lot
somebody
of
must
opinions as
have
a
said
little
it
kid.
was. Yeah. How do they... Why do we trust those? We trust them because they work, obviously, right? But like...
Trust what? Kids to tell you?
Like, no. Well, any sort of market research, and I know this is just like an ignorance thing because I'm sure it's like a great science and they make loads of money doing it, but it just strikes me as unintuitive that you would earnestly interpret the answers given to you by people who don't want to be there and are just doing it for money.
Yeah.
But maybe people have just a greater sense of self-importance than I'm thinking. I don't need that because I have a YouTube channel, I guess. So like I don't need to get it out of my system by doing a Cheeto commercial review.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
I
It just
think,
seems unintuitive.
I think
like
there
the
is
last
a kind
person I
of-
would ask is the general public if I wanted to know about something I was making.
I think there is like a sense of responsibility you feel when you sign up for something like that. At least for me, I'm like, I'm gonna give some real good advice. I'm gonna really think about this because this
help
is my
this
job right
corporation
now. Yeah,
Sell their products and take from the
because I think
poor and give to the rich.
people like to say their opinions and like criticisms of stuff.
Yeah, but do people even know what they think? I think is what's underlying all this. Is like, I could tell you what I think would make a good commercial, but I don't think that's going to align with what is a commercial that would work on me. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't even, you wouldn't be able to say that because I feel like if you could say, oh, this type of commercial is what would work, then it kind of loses its power because then you are like, it sort of needs to be subconscious the way it works, you know, like my
because it's
ads
so
for
subliminal.
Underpants. Right. You just got to slip it in secretly. So I don't know. It strikes me. I maybe I should do some more reading about it at some point. Because I'd be curious what, like, it seems like the type of thing that a bunch of dudes in suits somewhere optimized really heavily at some point. So I'm sure it's real, obviously, but
That's true. I feel like for marketing specifically, it's probably more accurate to just look at real data of like, you know, click-through rates and stuff like that. Because it's pretty subconscious, I think. Because I think most people would say, well, the ideal ad will just tell me exactly what the product is and, not try to trick me at all. Because people don't want to think that they can be tricked. But in reality, the ads that are going to work on them are the ones that trick them.
Right. It's the ones that make them feel like that's what they're getting, but in reality, they're being lied to and sold the product. And I suppose market research is really just like, it's probably gone way downhill in terms of usage since we now do most of our stuff online and you can get pretty in-depth analytics. You know, I was talking to, back when I worked in restaurants, we had a company that we paid as a restaurant a lot of money. It was like thousands of dollars a month, if not more. Well, not more than thousands, but like more than a few thousand, maybe like $12K a month or something. And what it would do
is consultant.
No, it was basically like you would have to input all of your stuff and how much it costs and whatever, but then it integrates with your sales and it just tracks everything and when it sells and what's selling the most and what's selling the least. And it gives you analytics. Basically, it just lets you have a YouTube analytics page for your restaurant. And I always thought it was crazy. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing. Keep talking.
You're freaking me out. What are you doing?
I'm just
You're freaking me out.
occupying myself.
You're freaking me out.
Don't worry about it.
Get that barrel away from me. What's in that barrel? Heavy metals. I think it's what's in that barrel.
Sorry, I just get antsy. I have to occupy my hands. Keep talking.
Okay. Whatever you say. It's just surprising to me not to, obviously, I continue my streak of being a gigantic YouTube shill, but the analytics YouTube gives you for no money are like better than the analytics you would have to pay multiple thousands of dollars for from like in any other. This is freaky. I know that the audio listeners don't know, but you're staring into my eyes right now, like my real eyes, and I'm transfixed and frozen.
Do you see this cigarette I just put in my mouth?
Is that what that is? It just made it look like you have a gap tooth.
No, I got a cigarette in my mouth.
Very weird. I'm going to have to zoom in. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you do. Look at that. That explains why.
Terrifying.
It explains why suddenly you look so much cooler. I wasn't sure why, but your aura was like, now you're so cool, and it's because of the cigarette.
Right.
Because that's what they do. Anyway, YouTube analytics are amazing. My hot take is, people look at their comments I've told you this before, and I think you told me to shut up, but people are like, my comments say this, and that's how I determine what people think. I think the comments are the last thing you should look at when you're trying to figure out what people think. This also explains my hatred of focus market research. Don't listen to the people and what they think they think. Look at what's actually happening. I think the analytics are a way better indicator of like whether people like your shit than the comments are. But the numbers are scary, and I get that, and that's totally fine. And it's a dark path also. You gotta be careful of that.
That makes sense. But did you want to hear about my research that I did as a kid?
Yeah,
I wasn't even thinking about like market research. I did like scientific research. I thought you were very
explicitly asking about market research. I don't know how I took it that way.
No, just generally, I guess this is a thing that happens to kids is people want to offer you $50 to do something.
Like take drugs?
Not quite. But I did one of the ones where they put like nodes on your head and have you do activities. So I had like nodes on my brain, and there was like a computer game that was testing what is it, like your reflex speed, like the screen would change and I'd push a button or whatever. And I think I did like a balance beam or something too. Maybe that was
with the nodes on your head
one. I'm not sure if it was all the same day. I think I did like a balance beam with like those golf balls on me that they use to track your movement.
Are you sure you weren't being tested for like a disease? Because that reminds me a lot of when I got tested for like mental problems. So.
Oh.
Okay. Like it reminds me of my ADHD, IQ, autism test or whatever. It's like a 3-test thing that I did when I was a kid.
Okay. That sounds intense.
My mom will not tell me the answer. She like every time I ask her.
Wait, you don't know what the result is?
No, she wouldn't tell me. She was like, it doesn't matter.
Then why did you do it?
Well, she wanted to know just to see if she should pursue any particular whatever. So obviously it wasn't some drastic result, or it was, and she didn't want to tell me that my IQ is like 40 or 180, and she didn't want it to go to my head, But I just like that every time I ask her, I'm like, dude, did they say that I have it, or did they say that I have a
not telling you
IQ?
To this day is crazy.
Yeah, and she was like, oh well. I just didn't really think it mattered. That's like her answer. So
you probably were positive for something.
Maybe. I think I was. I think eventually they ADD is what they called it before. It was ADHD only.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was like a full-on diagnosis or if I just assumed it was because I got bad grades. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
People are always trying to diagnose me with one of those in my comments.
I'll tell you what. Speaking of your comments, Lord Almighty, you
Did you see any of the horrible ones?
I saw those ones. It's no surprise, right? Obviously. First of all, if you want me to use my vast resources on YouTube to track these people down and do damage to them financially or physically or anything, you just let me know. Because it does. It's obviously you are very good at absorbing negative comments about you, and I can do it about me. But it is worse when you see it about someone that you like. You're like, whoa, hold the fort. Yeah. What are you doing?
I know,
but,
and
I just take it as it comes.
I'm trying to find a light switch maybe because it's
dark as hell in here.
Very dark.
I'll go just look at the sky. I want to show these people.
Look, I'm turning the light switches on and nothing is happening.
Yeah, I literally can't see.
Do we not
anything in
have
this
electricity?
game, so I'm just gonna go look at the stars.
Okay, you might get eaten by a monster.
They're not gonna come this close to the house. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I think we don't have electricity. Can we go to...
Hey.
Should we stand under one of these street lights?
Sure, yeah, let's go do that. You know how I knew when I saw you uploaded that new video, and I was like, this is gonna be a banger. Well, I'm curious your opinion. Because you told me before we started, you said you feel like your videos haven't changed really that much. And I'm curious then why you think you've now had, I mean, oh my God, you look
This
crazy.
is really scary.
Holy cow. Yeah, you look really crazy.
Oh, the moon is rising. Maybe that will help.
Oh yeah? Where?
Behind you.
Wow, it's beautiful. This is, I don't know if I can actually show this, because it looks a little politically incorrect.
Me?
So I'm just going to stand over. Yeah, I don't want to get into it. Anyway, oh my God, that's somehow worse. Oh no.
Yeah, I think you look the same. I think we're both in the same boat right now.
Everything's fine. Yeah, it's, why do you think you've now had, because my guess is this video is a 1 out of 10 still. It's performing better than even the Rod Fisher one did. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Why do you think that's the case? Where do you find this success is coming from?
I mean, I think this one is just probably how popular like retro gaming is in general. Like, it's about
you've done retro
PlayStation
game
2
stuff before.
Yeah, but I don't know. I like named this one very straightforwardly, like, this is about PlayStation 2. And then I had like some obscure games on the front of it that people recognize and then they click it.
Title, thumbnail, absolute banger on this one. Your thumbnails and titles have gotten better.
That's just funny to me because I didn't even think this title and thumbnail were that good. I like couldn't come up with something funny, so I just like named it what it is.
Absolute banger.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's the change recently that I've been doing with the titles is it's just like more straightforward, like what the video is instead of a silly joke.
Well, and look at the ones that kind of are a little more vague, perform slightly worse than the ones that are more specific, right? Mm-hmm. I become a danger to society versus I played every obscure PC game versus testing the vibes of PS2. Winter Arc Gamer Edition, kind of vague, right? So I think like Can Gamers Learn How to Read is also like a more specific title, and that video did reasonably well, especially for the time that it came out. So I don't want to get all analytics brain on you, but I saw the title thumbnail and I was like, she's about to have a smash hit right now because it's so good. Like you just sitting there and the things and then the 2 games, crazy. So giant congratulations on that. I mean,
glad it worked out.
You've crossed what 50 something K subs, and I mean, it's gonna be 250K views on this video in probably a week or something like that. My gosh.
I know the change in the subs is crazy because I was just at like 45 and now I'm at 58 almost.
Yeah, it's only gonna get worse / better depending on how you interpret the reality around you.
Yeah, both in different ways, I think.
Yes. Do you have any thoughts on the response to the video? Do you want to talk to us about because like you said, structurally it's tighter than previous videos you've done, I would say, in terms of like just the pace is a little bit tighter, but it's not dramatically different than the types of stuff you did before in general, right? So do you have any give us a little inside baseball on this whole video here?
Just on like sorry.
Worth it though, worth it.
Yeah, that was multiple things. I like went home for Christmas and then I was sick and I just life stuff, getting in the way. But I swear like all the days that I could work on it, I was. And then I just keep adding shit to it. Like the last day, like I was going to post it earlier in the week. And then the whole reason I posted it later in the week was because I added the whole fucking Crazy Frog documentary at the end.
Yeah.
So that's my problem is I just keep like thinking of things to add. But I feel like it's not that big of a deal if I only post once a month, if it's an hour-long video. Because if I posted every week, it would be like a 15 or 20-minute video. So it's kind of just like I'm saving up the content to just give you it all at once.
Yeah, and also if they're better, they make better videos because you just do more of the funny ideas that you have, Mm-hmm. which is just better for you as in terms of just staying interested and better for everyone. So,
but yeah, as far as the editing, I think my editing just gets faster over time because I have been doing it longer and I just get faster at it. And I've watched so much footage of myself that I get bored easier watching myself. So I end up like cutting it up a lot more to like just get the best parts because I'm like, I've seen so much of this.
I never thought about that as like a self-regulating like thing in terms of your videos automatically get better because you get bored of yourself. So you have then a natural tendency to cut out stuff that's boring because you're bored of it, whereas earlier you weren't bored of it, you know?
Right,
and
but
so
it's
over
to a
time,
point that, you know, like I'm getting more bored of myself than other people even would probably because they haven't watched hours and hours. Because I have had a couple people now telling me that my editing is too fast and like the jokes are too fast and I need to like have more space in between. So
those people are dumb. Don't listen to them. No offense.
I like the way I edit, but
yes, your editing right now is almost to, I think, a perfect sweet spot. But also it probably isn't a sweet spot now for the type of content you're trying to make. But I think it's excellent. I think it's perfect. So anything anyone tells you about anything, just ignore them. Because your instincts are obviously very good. And you know what you're doing.
I mean, I could slow it down a little bit if it gets worse. Because I'm scared of having like editing blindness where then it gets faster and faster and faster over time. And then it's actually like nonsense. Because I have seen channels like that where over time the editing gets crazier to the point where you're like, okay, I don't even know what's going on anymore. So I hope I don't reach that point. But yeah, so I'm glad the video's doing well. Definitely way more crazy, horrible things being said to me than usual. Like,
yes, the good
percentage
news, though,
of those people is way higher on this one. I think that's just the retro gaming community, I guess.
You're doing, I'm sure part of it is that you're doing a good job of moderating. And YouTube, honestly, like, mostly catches a lot of that stuff, at least that I've seen. Like, and because like if you go look at the auto mod comments, you're like, whoa, this is even worse. But in terms of like your actual community people and the people who are upvoting each other, your community is still like really funny and clearly really gets what you're going for. So that's a huge blessing. And you know, you should be grateful for that. So
for sure,
get to ride that high a little bit. I imagine the serotonin from that will keep you going for a little bit.
It's
also, isn't it fun to buy
nice
things for a YouTube video where you're like, I want to do this, and then you buy it and you can open it and show, like having a physical object as part of a video is a fun thing to do. Big fan.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't really want to like rant about bad comments because it doesn't matter. And like you're saying, it's way more people are being nice, but it is just a little bit like surprising and funny to me how different this video is for some reason. A lot of people saying I'm a poser in some way for like
that's
getting
a good
into
thing.
PS2.
Well, the last thing you'd want to be is an actual gamer. Are you crazy?
Right. Well,
the goal is to be a poser.
It's just people that haven't even watched the video, probably because literally the entire point of the video is that I'm experiencing these things for the first time. So how could I be a poser if I'm telling you that it's the first time I'm doing this?
Yes.
Just doesn't make any sense, but.
And that's what you mean by like it's not real in that sense, right? They're responding to a phantom in their own mind more than they are to the actual,
for sure,
your own actual existence.
Yeah.
Not to give them an excuse, but you know what I'm saying.
But yeah, so I'm famous now and it's going to my head and I'm like booking a private jet tomorrow with money I don't have.
I mean, I think I unironically told you that there's a chance you could be more famous than me by the time we go to VidCon. It's not possible at this point, so. I
don't want to be famous.
Well, yeah, neither of us are going to be actually famous. We're fake famous.
Right, yeah, sure.
I haven't had someone come up to me on the street in a while. I guess I haven't left my house in a while. I should go on a walk.
Same.
Go bask in the glory of the weather.
Yeah, you got to go on a hot girl walk and hope that people recognize you to give you an ego boost.
I love that. You know, I was speaking of nothing. It was almost a segue, and then we moved on. But I'm in a bad mood today. I don't know if you could tell.
Oh.
Because here's what I learned. I was supposed to go flying this morning. Supposed to have what's called a biennial flight review, which is a thing you have to do so they make sure you can still fly. Turns out, when the Super Bowl is in town, which it is, the Super Bowl is being held here this weekend, you have to get a special pass to go flying. Because there's not, they literally don't have room for all the private jets. So they have to park all the private jets at any nearby airport. There's like 4 or 5 little airports nearby. So they park all the private jets up and down all the, what are called taxiways, which are just the places that, the plane goes along to get to the runway. And so they block them with just like a bunch of rich ass people. I'm talking to the people, ma'am, not you. You're a genius. Our audience, have you seen them? Never underestimate your audience's intelligence. Never overestimate their prior knowledge, right? Anyway, yeah, I couldn't go. They called me and they were like, yeah, the airport, you can't do it. You can't come here. And I was like, this goddamn sport.
Yeah, that sucks. I was just thinking about how crazy it is that, like, it's going to be the Super Bowl there and then Mardi Gras, like, very soon.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a lot going on in one.
We're getting into the swing of it, too. Mardi Gras already kind of started. We've had a couple of the parades happening, but then it's a little bit late this year. It's on March 4th, so we have a little bit of time before, like, proper Mardi Gras. But obviously, like, the few weeks leading up to it are a little funny. So, yeah, it's an exciting time. An exciting time. We had New Year's, Sugar Bowl, terrorist attack. That wasn't good.
Yeah, that was
Super
yikes.
Bowl. That was very yikes. And then Mardi Gras. And then whatever else comes after that. So,
can I show you this guy I found on TikTok this morning?
Yeah, how do you intend to do that?
I'm going to describe him to you and just play the video into the microphone, and then I'll put him up on the screen for everybody when I'm editing it.
All right. That sounds good enough for me.
But this relates very strongly to the conversation we had. Was it the very first episode when we were talking about whether you want to eat food or not? Like pros and cons of eating food.
That sounds right. Yeah, that sounds right, because it was Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So I just thought you might love this guy. The name of the account is This Is My Food. And he has 3 videos so far. But he's just introducing us to his food. This is for the listeners, he's just like a regular looking, like pretty fit Asian guy in his 30s. He said he lives in Illinois. And this is the video. It's pretty long, so we could skip around or I could edit it out.
This is my food, and my food is me.
Everyone shut up.
I've been eating my food all day, every day for the past 5 years. And I want to show you what goes into my food.
Okay, so just for context here, he's holding a huge bowl, like a 4. I'm exaggerating. Maybe like a 3-gallon bowl of just like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just mixed stuff chopped up really small.
Okay,
the
so it's not
ingredient for my food is
identifiably
vegetables. Here I got 11 different types of vegetables, totaling about 10 pounds.
Something about the way he talks is very soothing to me.
I really like it. I will say I've been eating my food all day, every day for the past 5 years is an all-time line. That's an excellent thing to say.
Some kale.
Anyway, so I can skip around a bit, but basically it's a shit ton of vegetables, tofu, chicken, what else? That's like the main, and like beans. So it's like all the food groups in one, chopped up really small. He cooks it.
Wait. Was I misunderstanding? So this is like, I hesitate to call it a meal, but it's a thing he's making that he refers to as my food.
Yeah, it's his food.
And then every day he just eats my food, and it's just his food.
Yes.
Icon, honestly, I kind of love that. If there was, maybe I could. So you're saying I got a lot of this stuff already. It's vegetables, tofu, right? You said chicken, but I'll just do more tofu. Mm-hmm. How does he cook it? Does he just throw it into a pan? What's the...
He cooks it. Oh, and there's rice in it too for the carbs. Okay, there's rice and quinoa.
Okay.
I think he said there's like 20 ingredients total because there's all these different vegetables, and everybody should go watch all his videos because they're very long, but he goes into like a lot of
My
detail
food is me, and this is my food.
about his food.
I eat my food all day, every day, and you can kind of
Can
see
you
why.
send this to me so I can
Yeah.
And when I
adjust
talk
my life
about
accordingly?
eating my food all day, every day, it doesn't mean I'm eating it breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I eat my food 6 times a day. I eat about 90 pounds of vegetables each month, but I'm not a vegetarian or vegan. I actually always forget what the difference between the two.
So this is the third video, the most recent video. And what I love about this one, I won't play the whole thing, is that he's now responding to comments about his very first video he posted just introducing his food. And the comments, are, of course, are saying things like, wow, this is so healthy. Like, you have all the food groups in there. And he's like very insistent on the fact in this response video, he's like, I don't do this to be healthy. I do this because I don't want to think about what I'm eating.
Exactly. All right, I'm doing this. This is my life now.
I already sent you the first one this morning because I was like, this seems very relevant to you.
You sent it to me? How'd you send it to me?
Just through TikTok, which I know you don't look at.
Oh, yeah. I have all my apps blocked now, so I can't go on anything except between the hours of 6 and 8 p.m. And by that time, I'm like not even... I know. It's really strict, but it was destroying my life, so...
That's very adult of you.
I know. I don't even have the code for it.
I spend a lot of time on TikTok
to someone else, so I can't physically get on them anymore, and it's extremely disruptive, but it's a good thing. So
maybe I should do that. But I love TikTok. But then I wouldn't find this man and his food.
Well, you could do it between the hours of 6 and 8 p.m.
No, because you got to be on for hours and hours to find this kind of stuff.
The sacrifices we have to make. Listen, you're right up there with Jesus.
Anyway, so there's also another video called This Is My Juice, because he also makes juice that he drinks every day.
Oh my God, what an incredible man.
But yeah, like, so fun facts about it that he goes into in the response video. There's no seasoning. Somebody was asking in the comments, like, why wouldn't you season this? Why you could like have some variety by doing different seasonings. And his response was, variety equals thinking about food, which I don't want to do. So
exactly.
So there's he doesn't even put salt on it though. Imagine how this tastes.
It doesn't matter how it tastes. You're getting it down. Once it's in your stomach, you're not even going to know what it tasted like anymore. You're going to move beyond to the next thing.
That's probably what this guy would say.
That's my whole thing with smoothies. Yeah.
I think the two of you could really connect about this.
I'm getting him. I'm going to go get him and hang out with him. I'm going to go find him. You said Illinois? I like Chicago. Hook me up. Let's bring this guy to VidCon.
I wonder what he does for work. And he said he eats it 6 times a day. So he has like 6 small meals.
It does sound like the type of thing that like a guy working in tech would do, like an entrepreneur thing. Yes. Only he's being more based about it because he's like being very unassuming and odd. But it does have those vibes of like maximizing the efficiency of my day. Like Steve Jobs only wearing the same thing every time he wakes up.
He says some crazy things about vegetables, which I don't agree with. He says vegetables are always gross, despite the fact that he eats 90 pounds a month. He says vegetables are always gross and no amount of seasoning makes them good, which is just false. Okay. That's not true.
Okay. Listen, I understand the frequency on which you're agreeing with him, but can we also agree that there's a different frequency of thought in which he's exactly correct?
I mean, sure, if I put myself in his mind, I guess. I think he's just denying himself a lot of joy in life.
No, I'm not saying if you pretend to think he's right, then you think he's right. I'm saying it is true that vegetables are always bad, even though they're not, and they're good. It's true that they are always bad, so why bother? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I think there's been periods of my life where I would have agreed with that.
Yeah, it's like saying...
But I have recently been making like fresh green beans with a bunch of butter and garlic on them, and that is really good.
Oh, delicious. Yeah, no,
that
vegetables
is really awesome.
Are incredibly delicious when done appropriately, and even raw. I mean, you know me with carrots, I'll eat those things all day.
Right.
Would I say they're delicious? No, but we like them. But I mean, in the same vein that you would say things like, I just had a good example and I forgot about it. You know, you just like, if I say smoking is cool, right? Smoking's not cool. It's not good and it's bad. But I know that's true, and I can still say smoking is cool, and it's true in a certain way. You know what I mean?
I actually have to disagree with you, and I have actually never understood what is supposed to be cool about it. And I'm not saying that just to be like, I'm so much better than everybody because I don't get it. But I actually literally don't, because it smells bad. And I grew up around people that smoked a lot, and it has always been nasty. People that smoke are fucking like coughing all the time. Like, it's gross.
But it's also cool.
No.
Okay, well, that makes sense. I would think that because it's a generational difference. Okay, you youngins don't understand how cool.
Don't tell me about my generation. Everybody in my comments, it's so funny because I get insulted for being too millennial and too Gen Z.
Me too. Isn't that so funny how that works?
And I'm like, I guess I'm kind of in between them, but also all that shit is fake anyway. But it's just funny how, like, those generations are pitted against each other so much as like opposites, and yet here people are picking one that they think I am and saying this is why I'm bad. Yep.
It's nothing, and this is literally what I said in that one podcast. Nobody knows how to see things, or like they just don't know things. They just
people
talk.
Don't know things. Maybe I'm starting to agree with you.
Yeah, like literally nobody, and there isn't even a way to know things. You just let it be. That second part, the thing I said was not true, actually. There is a way to know things, but people don't know how to see things. They don't know how to look at things or how to think. The end.
Or they just don't. I think a lot of these YouTube comments are like, they're barely even actually watching the video or taking in any information. They're just like vomiting words.
Yes, I think that's probably things. True.
I think there's a lack of thinking before you speak.
Right, they get an idea of what they think the video is about based on the title, thumbnail, maybe the first couple seconds. They assume that's what it's about, and they respond to that idea, not to what's actually in the video. Which is fine.
I'm sorry I keep talking about comments, but I just think so many of them are funny. The way that people are choosing to insult me.
All right, in that case, we're gonna go. Let's see what the most recent comment on that video is. You ready? I'm gonna read it. It's from. I can't pronounce their name, but they said, "Wake up, babe. Edna from The Incredibles posted." That's just a Bob compliment, really.
Yeah, some people hate the Bob, but see, now I just forgot what the heck comment I was going to talk about. Oh, somebody said, because I think they think that I'm a poser encroaching on the... I know the sky is pretty. I see you looking at it.
Oh, I'm looking at it. It is really. Look at this. Holy cow.
I'm going to show really I'm going to show the audience what you look like looking at it, because that's really something.
Stunning.
Anyway, people think I'm encroaching unjustly onto the retro gaming space, and somebody said this must be what cultural appropriation feels like.
Yo, that's hilarious. That's a really good funny. Comment. Oh, man. Well, maybe now they'll have empathy.
Maybe.
Because they'll be like, damn, that hurt. I gotta quit wearing this hat, this sombrero.
They're going to go take out their dreads tonight.
Yeah, they learned it from you.
Anyway, I had a couple comments on the last episode we could respond to.
Sure, let's do comments.
Let me see. Okay, we're like
Thanks, everyone, for your
minutes.
patience.
Yeah, we missed a week, but that's fine. We've been posting pretty consistently.
Why did I skip it? I can't remember.
You just didn't send me your footage on time, and then I didn't want to edit.
Oh, yeah, I was out of town, and I couldn't. Yeah, okay, that's right.
I didn't want to edit like 2 in a row, and...
Yeah, reasonable. Take a week off.
I'm a busy woman now. I got people blowing up my phone. I'm famous.
Listen,
I can't be editing 2 podcasts.
It's only going to get worse. Listeners, she's only going to get worse, so... we got to buckle up.
Oh yeah. We got
to see her through this whole adventure.
That's the plan.
Speaking of being a diva, before we go to comments, you want to know what's been destroying this is going to sound so horrible, and I'm going to hate that I even shared this, but I'm going to do it. This whole week has just, you know what has destroyed my whole week?
Yes.
I have this huge fucking pimple on my face. And on Monday I was supposed to film, and I couldn't do it. I tried covering it with makeup. It's like I can't do it. And now it's Thursday. I still can't do it. It hasn't gone away.
You got to get a beauty
filter. And I'm
filter.
just sitting here. Maybe I should just do that, because it's destroying my life. Like, this single pimple is absolutely destroying my life. I'm not having a good time. My whole day has thrown itself off. And I say this as someone who had extremely severe acne for years and years and years. Okay, I come from experience. I get it. All right, I was act up. I was acting up, as they say. In like high school, college, I was like just totally covered. I had to do the whole Accutane thing, everything.
I've heard that's brutal.
Accutane, dude, shout out. It is brutal. It makes you feel
shout
weird.
Shout out Accutane.
But it absolutely just like I did every other thing you could possibly think to do.
Yeah.
Accutane, zip, it was gone. Like, it was the most amazing thing. It was like 2 months, but you have to go in and get blood work done every month to make sure you're not dying.
Nice.
Or so, I think it's actually just to make sure you're not like...
That's how you know you got the good chemicals, when they got to make sure it's not killing you.
They got to watch it. Exactly. So yeah, I'm discombobulated because I can't... I'm supposed to have a video up next week, and I have it all done. It's ready to go. So now I'm working on like 3 videos from now, just like putzing away. My day is ruined. I can't follow the schedule because I can't.
Just go dream mode. Get a mask.
Dude.
That's what the point of the mask is.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, that's the point of the doing the podcast in a video game, right? So we don't have to worry about any of that.
Right, because you look so much better in this video game than you do in real life.
Yeah, if I look like this in real life, I wouldn't have to worry. I'd be filming.
You're so right that it looks very racially
I'd be doing pornography
insensitive.
if I look like this. It does, yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do? I didn't make the game.
I'm excited to see how my cigarette looks for you.
It looks awesome. You look really cool.
Yeah,
you look like James Dean, kind of.
You're really a sucker for a cigarette, huh?
I kind of am. Yeah, when I see people, I think it's working in food service. Definitely ameliorates. No, what is it called when it like warms you up to something? I don't know.
I mean, I can understand how it's a good excuse in a high-paced job like that to just go outside for 5 minutes.
It's more than that, though. Like, I genuinely think there's something about the sound of it and the ritual of it, and like just the having something in your hands that I just find very appealing. I've never regularly smoked cigarettes. I think I've semi-accidentally smoked them 2 or 3 times.
Ooh.
And they do feel cool in my fingers. Thank goodness I didn't get addicted to them, because they are like extremely objectively like one of the worst things you can do.
You should get really into candy cigarettes and just have those in your videos.
I'm gonna stick to carrots. How about that? I'm just gonna get some carrot, those long sticks.
That's like something that a YouTuber would do, is like pretend that they smoke, but they don't. And then there's drama later that comes out when people find out you don't actually smoke and you faked it.
That's funny. I should start doing stuff like that.
You should.
We got to conjure
We have
up
to
some
come up with something
drama
that we're gonna get drama for later. That's like how
Which
you
is great, 'cause
really
if we both have a big
your
channel,
presence forever on YouTube.
Yeah, we can like cyclical. Like we could have like a fight on the pod, you know?
Yeah,
something.
we could have drama between us.
Yeah, and then we'll have fights on the pod, but we'll have a sub pod for the people who know that it's like a separate thing. So we have a pod within the pod, or like an even deeper level where we're normal still, you know?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, this is turning into like a really annoying bit, and I can't do bits forever, but we can do a couple.
We could be the new frenemies. The world needs a new frenemies.
Who gets to be Hassan? No, I'm thinking of the other one. What was the one with
it's
Ethan?
Trisha Paytas and Ethan Klein.
Oh, it was also Ethan Klein. Well, there you go. Yeah, who gets to be who? Listen, if you want to be Trisha, you can.
I don't know. I mean, the obvious choice is that I think I would be Trisha. But I don't want to force you into being Ethan Klein, because that's cruel.
I'll be Ethan Klein.
That's cruel and unusual. I think I've said this before, but my favorite thing about that pod was always that they were both stupid. Ethan is also stupid, but he was so positive that he was not, and that Trisha was the stupid one.
That's what made it work.
It made for a really hilarious dynamic, because Ethan was so like high on his horse all the time, and he was also dumb. And it was just really funny how dumb they both were.
I don't know if I ever like actually watched it beyond just like individual little clips, but I really
watched it, like,
appreciated their
religiously.
dynamic. As
It made me
in
laugh
clips,
so
I really
much.
appreciated their dynamic.
I
Yeah,
need
it
to go
seemed
back
really
and watch
funny.
it again. It's so like somebody needs to make a movie like cutting together the best parts, because there's drama and story arcs across the whole life of frenemies. It's so funny.
Why did they hate each other? Like, what kind of
Just
how do
honestly,
we have to do it?
Little petty fights that just kind of built up.
I guess I could see that. Neither of it, we're not petty enough.
I know we're not. That's the
Yeah,
thing
we're
about me
both
is I'll
kinda-
never get involved in drama, because when drama happens in my life, I do something else.
Yeah, you're just kind of chill like that. All right, tell me about the comments. What did people think of the last episode?
Well, people were lovely as usual. People had some insights about speeding and Montessori schools, but the comments that I wrote down to respond to have nothing to do with anything. I thought this was a funny topic/question, just because of the way it's phrased is unique. But it says, if you were unshackled by moral constraints, how long would you stare at a blade of grass? And I like this question because it doesn't say anything about, like, usually you would say, okay, how long would you stare at a blade of grass for $1 million or something? But there's no incentive. It's like, if you lived forever, how long would you? Like, I guess because you just want to.
Right. But if I didn't have mortal
constraints.
Oh, I thought you said moral, and I was like, this is a very
Maybe I
weirdly
said that on
interesting
accident.
question.
Mortal
I was going to say, first of all, I don't have any moral constraints.
Right, you'll do anything. You'll smoke a cigarette.
I'll do yeah. Okay, so if I live forever, how long would I stare at a blade of grass? Probably not that long. Like, I don't know, right? I guess that's bold. Like, it's kind of rich coming from me, but
it would be it would take a while for me to do it, because first of all, like, if starting now, I'm going to live forever. First, I would live out the rest of my life as I am, because there's, like, people that I like that I want to spend my life with. And then I'm assuming all of them will die.
Yes.
Which is very sad. And so I'll probably be very sad for a while. I'll probably, like, you know, all the typical stuff that people say when you're immortal. You, like, probably will go through phases and maybe eventually just won't form relationships with anybody because I don't want them to die.
Right.
But I think once everybody I love dies and I, like, get over the mourning or whatever, eventually I would reach a point where I'm just kind of, you know, appreciating every little thing as much as I can. Because I honestly am a person that can find a lot of interest in very mundane things. And so I think it's reasonable to think I would eventually just start staring at all kinds of stuff for a really long time.
Yeah.
So
after like 100,000 years, yes, you will run out of things to do other than just stare at stuff.
So I probably could, like, I could probably stare at a blade of grass. Well, am I getting up to eat and stuff?
Hold on, back up.
I thought it might be interesting to look at it for like a year, because then you could see, like, the seasons change and, like, you could see it grow and die. That might be kind of interesting.
There's a couple big questions here. Like, the first thing that comes to mind for me is probably eventually you'll reach a point where just staring at a thing becomes an interesting activity or something you want to do, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be different for everyone, but, you know, it's going to be after the collapse of human civilization, because before that, there's always going to be, like, new shit to do because people make art and use stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so it's going to be after human civilization collapses. So anywhere from, I mean, seriously, probably 1,000 to 50,000 years, you know, provided. So 50,000 years from now, you go, well, there's no human civilization left. There's nothing for me to stimulate myself with. Let's start staring at stuff. How many things are on Earth? Probably 15 to 20 million different categories of objects. Where is grass on that list? Probably in the bottom 25% in terms of things I would stare at. I would stare at rocks sooner than grass, clouds, stars. Yeah, rock, definitely. every other
But
plant first.
a blade of grass is changing more than a rock is.
Well, at least every animal and fish, sunrises and sunsets. You'd want to look at every country for, like, it's nowhere near the top.
What is more appealing to you about a rock than a blade of grass?
You can just look at it from every angle, and it's like a cool thing, and it's geological, and it's like has an age to it that makes you think about the age of the universe and stuff. Whereas grass is like, it just dies and it's a little piece of green. But the point is, so what did we say? 15 to 20 million different potential objects to stare at. You're going to get through about 800 of them, and then you're going to like forget about the first one. So you could just go back and do them again, you know? So it's just going to keep extending, probably flirting with the general death of the sun before I even think about it. So I don't think it's going to happen. That's my opinion. Grass is going to go extinct before I would think about looking at grass.
If you were unshackled by mortal constraints, how many cigarettes would you smoke?
Holy shit. Yeah, it would be never ending. No, I wouldn't smoke any because it is bad. It's bad for the people around you. Potentially, if after human civilization collapses, I would just start doing it.
And then you wouldn't even have anyone to look cool in front of.
Well, and that's the thing. But the reason I wouldn't do it is because it looks so cool. You don't want to influence people to do it because it's seriously bad for you.
Yeah.
So that, unfortunately, I would have to be not unshackled by moral constraints in order to do that. Now, if I didn't have moral constraints, I'd probably be smoking one right now. But I do.
Yeah,
Mortal and moral,
if you started smoking, you'd just look so cool. It would like ruin everybody, I think. Everybody in the world would start smoking.
Smoking in my YouTube videos. That'd be an insane thing to do. That probably couldn't get advertisers.
Probably.
Yeah, eventually I'm going to get bored enough that I'm going to start doing crazy stuff on YouTube for sure. It's going to be a few years from now, but like I definitely at some point I'm going to start. And I don't like that. I would rather be earnest forever, but like I don't like the idea of doing bits just to weird people out, but I think unfortunately it's in my blood. Okay, well that was a nice comment. Thanks to whoever commented that. What else you got?
Not much else. Somebody said we should do impressions, and I just thought that was funny because
absolutely not.
I know that you would never.
Yeah, it's
but
the
I
same
thought
with
about
karaoke.
like maybe I could do it and just listen to you cringe.
Okay, what do you got? Can I request, or are you going to do them and I have to guess who it is?
They requested BMO, I think, from Adventure Time.
Don't know who that is.
And Jennifer Coolidge. And I think
I met her once.
You met Jennifer Coolidge?
She came into our bakery.
Wait,
she
seriously?
lives around here. Yeah, she is super
she lives
chill,
in
really
New Orleans?
nice. I think so. Yeah, if I'm thinking of the right lady. Yeah. I think she lives. I assume she lives down here because she was always around.
Whoa.
She would come in and get pastries and stuff, and she was just always really nice to everybody. It was like her and Bryan Cranston are just nice. Oh, and what's the guy Sully from fucking Monsters Inc? John Goodman. All nice people.
Why are so many celebrities living in New Orleans?
But they do a lot of film down here. Well, John Goodman just likes it down here. He might be from here. I'm not sure. Jennifer Coolidge, I don't know. But there used to be a lot of film. Not so much anymore. So Bryan Cranston was here filming a TV show and all that stuff.
Huh.
But yeah, nice people. Some of them. I've had a couple celebrities that were not as cool, but I don't know. Most of them are chill. If you live in New Orleans, you kind of got to be chill. Anyway, Jennifer Coolidge. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly how she talked because I only ever said things like, that'll be $18, and she would go, oh, thanks.
Well, also, I think she talks more normal in real life, and then when she does acting roles for some reason, she has the same exact, very specific voice that she does every time. Anyway, I've looked up some quotes, and this is going to be so bad. I'm so bad at impressions or accents. Okay. But I low-key wish that I was better, so maybe I'll practice. Okay, this is one of my favorite ones because I love Legally Blonde. You look like the 4th of July. Makes me want a hot dog real bad. I know that's bad. I know that just sounds like me, but I'm like a little bit breathy.
I would honestly say it sounds slightly better than I thought it was going to sound. I thought it was okay. I felt like I was watching Legally Blonde again. That's overstating it. I was being nice, but it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to be legitimately embarrassed, and I'm only like
I love Legally
embarrassed
Blonde.
because of great
Have
film.
I talked about this?
It's a I don't
publicly?
know. I've seen it a couple of times. Have you seen the second one? I watched that one kind of recently in a hotel.
It's not good.
I don't know. It's fine. It's cute. Like I didn't mind it. It's not as good as the first.
I mean, I don't remember anything about it, so that's
It's
my
really funny. She like goes
review.
to Congress to like make them pass a law for dogs not to be turned into handbags or something. I don't know. Just something that's not happening. But
Anyway, I
liked
watched
it.
Legally Blonde for the first time in college, and it legit like inspired me. It's like a very
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't get it, but if you get it, it's actually like a very lovely feminist message. But a lot of people don't. They just like see it on the surface level, and they just think it's like goofy movie. But I don't know.
Well, that's why it
took
works
a
though,
lot.
is because it is just like a good goofy movie. Also,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
but I just think it's really good, and it's really kind of unique. It's just saying like you can be a goofy, silly girl and really smart and know what you're doing at the same time, which is like my whole situation. So I was really inspired by that movie.
You know who also could learn something from that message? Men. That's my opinion.
Ugh, don't get me started. The
How about
problem
some goofy,
is
silly men? I could learn something from that message, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, the problem is that the men that don't understand that just don't even see women as people in the first place, so that's why
Yes.
they can't imagine multiple facets in a woman, because she is just something to look at.
Yes.
You know,
well, I was
something
even
that I was
saying that
saying-
men should learn how to be like goofy, silly people and not so serious all the damn
that too.
time.
That too.
Yeah.
It's also like some deep-seated jealousy that girls can be like open about that part of themselves, and they feel like they can't, so they have to like tear the girls down for doing it.
Yes, definitely.
But something I thought was funny about all these comments I was getting is I was getting like the type of like incels that are like pissed at me and think I should die and think I'm a whore. And the type of incels that are like now obsessed with me. And
Oh yeah, I did see a
I
couple of
think
those. And I was like, I
it's-
wonder how you're dealing with that.
I think it's interesting that like those two types of people are much closer together than they think they are.
Yes, that's an excellent
Like
point.
each one of them is one step away from being the other, and I think that the mad ones, part of the reason they're so pissed is because they know that deep in their mind that they're actually
Yeah.
one step away from being obsessed with me. So
Yeah,
I just think that's funny.
Comments that I saw that were like, I think I have a new crush, milady. And I was like, oh no.
Yes. Somebody called
But,
me
you know,
mommy.
That's slightly more endearing, I would say, because that can be like in some ways platonic, I feel like. Maybe not. Maybe I'm reading it wrong.
I guess it depends who's saying it. Some people say it as like a funny internet thing, like just anybody that they
Yes,
watch that they
right.
like. But some people are saying it in a more serious and sinister and scary way.
Yeah.
Not much. It doesn't get to me as far as like it doesn't affect my self-esteem, but there is kind of another aspect to it where, you know, if you walk into a room and get shit on repeatedly, something makes you not want to walk into that room anymore. Even if it's not changing my self-perception, it's still like, it's like
Yeah.
it's still like not very pleasant. Like my confidence isn't hurt, but it's also like, how many times do I want to read people calling me words I've never even heard before? I have to look them up, and then they refer to like very specific parts of female genitals. And I'm like,
I was curious what I should have asked before we started, because I don't really want to talk about it on the pod, but I was curious what it was. I don't even know if I want to know.
yeah, you don't.
But I was like, yo, it's new language
Yeah, you don't.
for being horrible. But
Yeah, they're like deep in some Reddit boards or some 4chan boards where they're making up vocabulary to call people
crazy.
crazy.
Has any of your friends and family been like, yo, this is scary for you? Or like, has this been any reaction at all? Because everyone I know just ignores me. And like, no, because I don't ever talk about it. So it's not like my mom texts me and it's like, those people were being so mean.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes
Ashlyn will report people sometimes if they're being too mean, and I'm like, all right, calm down. Everything's fine. But it's endearing. Like, it's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, some of my family reads my comments and they'll be like, that sucks. Also, though, when videos get a lot of comments, I should like re-emphasize that it's a minority of comments that are horrible. So if it's a video with a lot of comments, you might not even see these because I'm just seeing them because they're on my YouTube studio. But like most people, they would just go to the bottom of the list. But yeah, sometimes people are like, I saw some bad comments. That sucks. But nobody's like told me I should quit or something.
Yeah. Is anyone jealous? Is anyone coming out of the woodwork and being like, hey, you want to be friends? I make Twitch.
What, of like people that I knew before? Not really.
Yeah. No, not yet?
No.
Right.
It is something interesting that I've got from family is people being like, I didn't know you were so funny, or like, I didn't know you were like this. Like, you're so different in person.
Right.
Which is just, it's funny to me because what am I going to go to like Christmas dinner and just be cracking jokes the whole time? That sounds really annoying.
Yeah.
Like I change how I act according to the situation. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to act like I do in my YouTube videos 100% of the time. I think I'd be an annoying person.
You could try it.
Because the whole point is that I'm like, it's a one-way street. I'm talking to an audience, so I have to be like entertaining the whole time and talking about myself the whole time. But like in real life, I want to like get to know people and ask them questions about them and like be a normal person. So
people don't want to be friends with someone that's just like doing bits to them all the time.
Right. Like if I was doing bits 100% of the time around my family, I think that would be crazy. And also, I love my family and they're all wonderful. And if any of you are listening, I love you. But I don't think a lot of them would actually think I was that funny if I was saying the same things in person to them. Like maybe it seems funnier because they can see that like it's a video with a lot of views that a lot of people like, and that is like affecting their judgment. Because I don't know. I never felt like growing up that my sense of humor was very appreciated by a lot of my family because they just didn't understand because I'm like talking about internet memes and shit. So
well, you got to find your audience.
Did you have anything to respond to?
I did want to let everybody know I got this TV, right? This is a video I made about TVs, and I was like, your TV doesn't matter. I got this OLED TV for that video, and I earnestly was going to return it or give it away, but then I was like, I don't want to leave the house, so I plugged it in. I'm not going to lie. Shit's pretty good. It's a pretty good, like, seeing an OLED TV is the first time that I was like, oh, this actually looks
LED
really nice. Like, it is really nice. Now, after a week, I don't think I know
the difference.
It just looks like
brighter. Like what?
It's the
more colors.
It develops the way it does blacks is by actually like turning off the pixels. So it has just a way wider range. So it's like if it displays a black screen, it almost looks like the TV's off just because it gets so much. Yeah. There's so much more range.
Some more contrast.
To the color. So it just looks really nice.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to shout out OLED TVs because I guess it was easy for me to be like, every TV is the same. But again, after a week or two, it's like I don't even notice it. Like it doesn't even give me the same wow, but I was pretty impressed with it. So shout out whoever invented OLED technology.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I love a good display. Every projector that I've got has been better than the last one. And
those get expensive, don't they?
Yeah. Depends what's expensive to you. This one was $700, I think. How much was your OLED TV?
Like $1,200.
Yeah, so people pay more than that for a TV, but then this is like way bigger than a TV. If you care about it being big, which I know people don't.
Right, because it has a resolution, right? That like it's supposed, like it has a size within which it's meant to look good.
And maybe this is something that I'll regret saying when I get a higher resolution projector, but like the one that I have right now, it's only 1080p, but I also don't feel like, especially because I'm sitting far away from it, I don't think I would notice that much of a difference if it was like 4K. But maybe I'll get a 4K projector and change my mind.
No, I still think that even holds, like, because the Switch only goes up to 1080p anyway, and if I play Switch games on the OLED, it's like I literally don't even notice. But I'm someone who like I could play a game that has like a sub 30 FPS frame rate and just kind of get used to it, and that doesn't matter. Like that type of stuff never bugged me. But
I feel like 1080p 60 FPS beyond that is not really that perceptible by humans to be worth like the amount of extra money it can cost.
Except OLED. I'm just saying.
Except
Shout
OLED.
out OLED.
Yeah.
4K is okay, but yeah, it's just not substantively like, I don't know.
It's not enough of a difference to...
Like you're playing PS2 games, and they're good, so...
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter.
It's just crazy when you get beyond 1080p, and now I'm just being a nerd, but... it's going to take up so much more space on my computer to record, to edit is going to be slower. Like it exponentially increases the number of pixels, which exponentially makes everything slower and worse. No.
It's like 8,294,000.
I think you said that in the video, right?
Something. Yeah, I can't remember the exact number, but it's way more than I thought.
It's a lot.
I like the top comment. One of the top comments on that video was it was the timestamp of that, and it said, the way I confidently said 4,000. I was like, yeah, so relatable. Like, how many pixels does your 4K TV have? Yeah, 4,000, obviously.
No, 4K is 8 million. That's just the number there are vertically, right? I think is usually how
it's not even quite. It's like a little bit less than that. There's a reason for it. It's like 3,000.
Or do they do it on the diagonal? Sometimes they'll be talking about diagonally how many pixels, which is weird.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Okay, I could cut off the pod at this point, but
no, keep going.
I don't remember actually now if I was reading this comment on my PS2 video or your video, where somebody was like very confidently, CRTs don't actually have pixels. And I'm like, That's just not even correct. Of course they do.
It kind of is. And I knew about this going into it, and I had a section, but I cut it out of the script because it's like, for nerds, who cares? Like, whatever. It's sort of true that a CRT is projecting a light image that then has a filter over it, and that filter has holes in it, and that's what people refer to as the pixels. But it doesn't have pixels in exactly the same way that, like, it doesn't have individual lights. It's one big light that then has like a sheet with holes in it.
Does pixel refer specifically to having individual lights, or I just thought that was a general term for, because the data is still being sent in pixels. Like the PS2 is outputting pixels of like this many across.
Yeah, it's extremely pedantic. I think is what your point is that these people are just being like extremely definitional.
Anyway, I just thought that comment was funny.
This is why I didn't even put it in, because I was like, this is, who cares? This is nerd talk. Yeah. I also learned, did you know that the screen, the glass on the CRT is like the only thing protecting you from just getting irradiated by the beam of light? Mm-hmm. Like it's just a radiation laser, and they just put a piece of glass in front of it. And if you remove the glass, you'd get like, it would burn you or something. I don't know if it's that bad, but I was like, that's awesome.
Well,
it's like a vacuum tube.
Every electromagnetic signal is radiation, technically, of some kind. It's just whether or not it hurts you.
This is harmful.
It is harmful?
It's harmful radiation.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my understanding. It is like, it's the bad type, like the small wavelength type.
I saw a TikTok of somebody using a microwave where one side of it was missing. So they were just like fully radiating their house.
That's probably fine as long as the side that's missing is pointed the other way, right? That's probably not true. I don't know.
I wonder how well that even heats up your food if it's not, because my understanding is the rays are like bouncing around in the microwave, and that's what's helping you. So you would have to run it for like so much longer to like directly hit it with the beams.
Yeah, and then you like go to like pick up a bottle of water across the house, and it's like boiling hot. And you're like, oh god, oh no. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. If you took all the sides off a microwave, put it in a big room, left the room, and just turned it on for like 3 hours, and then you went in the room, what would it be like?
I think one of our viewers should try that out and tell us next time.
We should fill a room with marshmallows.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you could like track, if you put marshmallows on all the walls and floor and ceiling, you could track where the microwave beams went by how the marshmallows blew up.
Yeah.
Somebody call Mark Rober. He could handle that. That'd be cool. That'd be a bad influence on the kids.
That's definitely a YouTube video in the making.
I'll write it down.
Yeah, we'll do that in our cancellation era.
Yeah, and then the way we uncancel ourselves is by creating a collab channel on which we do things like that. And we become like Mr. Beast.
Okay, what a wonderful podcast. I think we should stop.
So good.
Okay, bye.
There you go. Look at that.
I wish I could actually smoke this thing.